Hi everyone, it's been a while since we did a video, but you can see in a few minutes time the reason why. So today we invited our good friend Simon up from Bournemouth all the way up here to Peterborough. Quick shout to Thorpe Hall, we're sitting in front of their beautiful building here today. We're talking about his fantastic CF1. We think it's the best 916 GTV in the country, and in a few minutes you'll see why. This morning Simon spent some time also with me. I had a spin in my V6 Spider and my 20 Spider, and he's beaming. But look, just watch this, guys. Simon, thanks again for coming up to see Dom and I. We can't wait to treat you for lunch as well. So, look, we've spoken to you before. We've been on the trip to Italy earlier in the year. It was fantastic meeting you and the wife. And Dom and I have both spent miles and miles behind this car, listening to that wonderful Wizard exhaust. So, in a nutshell, just tell us how long you've had the car for, and briefly what you've done to it over that time.
20 years, 20 years, 6 months to be precise. My wife bought it for my 40th, Rosie bought it for my 40th birthday. And a complete surprise at the time. I'd always wanted a sports car, kids at home could never justify it, blah blah, you know how it goes. This arrived, and like all of them, even back in the day, 10 years old when I got her, 9 owners before me. I was the 10th keeper, so one a year on average. And even when I got her, there was plenty needed doing, particularly to the underside suspension. You know how the rust goes and so forth. So I knew I had a bit of a task to do, and didn't really do anything for 10 years. Just drove her, did the basic maintenance, oil filter changes and such, and came to the crunch point where serious money needed to be spent, and made the decision to spend the money. But like all
and
of
it's
us,
been worth it.
Didn't have it at the time, had to save, and here I am with it now.
And I always say, and I mean it sincerely, it's a very early model as well, or very late one, depends which way you look at it, but this should be in the museum, and you'll see later on in the video, the viewers will see actually the stuff that you've done to it. But you know, it's just delightful, and just thank you for coming. And
not at all. Well, it is an early car, CF1, obviously, 1996. June 96, first registered, built in May 96 at Arres, the 11th of May I think it was. So yeah, first of the CF1s over here in the GTV form. Spider's preceded it. I think there's a couple of earlier cars that may be right-hand drive converted from left, that were possibly on an M plate, be earlier cars, 95, late 95. But yeah, a survivor.
Obviously it's a 916 now. We will see later on in the video. You had a quick spin in the V6 this morning and the 20. Just some comments on those.
I was surprised I've never driven a V6 at all. Only a 156 V6 for a short while. Having read online about the handling of the V6, the heavy front end, couldn't feel it at all in straight line. Obviously we didn't thrash anything, we didn't go around corners, but I was surprised actually at how light and nimble it was. From a perspective of twin spark to V6 transition, never having driven one before, so that was a pleasant surprise. And
it was a pleasure for you to drive my car and being in the passenger seat.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And the power differential is beyond comprehension. There is, you know, the twin spark's great engine, very versatile, very drivable, great drivability. It's easy to drive. The V6 was similarly so, but the power delivery is awesome.
Right, well, we're going to have a closer look at your car, and we're going to take a look at some clips you driving my cars. But thanks a lot, Simon.
No worries. Right, Pep. So, yes, further to completion of the restoration. Just a brief explanation. As you know from my previous WhatsApp, the engine had to come out. Wasn't meant to until next year, but to get to the air conditioning pipes going to the evaporator in here, they're just here, but unfortunately, you can see them. But unbeknownst to us at the time, you can't actually get tooling to them laterally directly. So long story short, the engine had to come out, which as it happened was a very good job, because the heater matrix pipes which sit below those two pipes for the aircon were all but finished. So, and their engine out anyway to get to as well. So yeah, just had the engine refurbished prior to the top half. And then the last 4 or 5 years I've been scouting the internet, making contacts to purchase new old stock parts, fan, air conditioning hoses, evaporator, new old stock Alfa radiator value. Everything basically, thermostat, intake pipe, fuel injectors, new fuel rail, solenoid, idle control valve and throttle body assemblies. It's all brand new, brake fluid reservoir. But 4 or 5 years of hard graft, obviously not inconsiderable expense, but you know, each to their own passion. Don't do anything else, don't spend my money on anything else. So it's been a great journey. I've made some fantastic contacts, new friends worldwide, Greece, Italy, Australia, America, and here obviously Gary Totally Alpha has been amazing, supporting me with part numbers, incompatible pieces, and marvellously helping me out taking the stuff that I've incorrectly purchased, which has been rather a lot, especially in the early days.
Well, I think what we need now, Simon, is a bit of a thumbs up to me, because that is absolutely superb.
I'm amazed all the, well, everything that you've said about the weight at the front. I can't feel it driving, in a straight line at least. Whoa. Christ, yeah. I'm having a day of days today, that's for sure.
First impressions, I know you're only in half a mile.
Yeah, no good. I'd say the only difference is, I say slight, maybe the steering wheel actually. I've got the 4-spoke, which is quite a big cumbersome wheel. And you've got slightly better power steering than, slightly different pump than mine. Maybe that's, steering feels a little lighter. That could